Hello and welcome to our Retire Early lifestyle. Can it be true? Is there really a traffic decline from Americans to some countries abroad? Yes, there is, and we're going to talk about that in this video while providing you with updated information you'll want to know. Let's begin. On May 8th, the U.S. State Department issued a travel warning of a level 4 to Russia. This is a do not travel for any reason advisory. Consequently, many Americans and other foreigners have fled from Russia back to their homeland. We would like to travel to Russia someday and check out a beautiful subtropical resort on the Black Sea called Sochi. You would be amazed when you know this beautiful paradise even exists in Russia. There is so much about the world we don't know, and we'll never be able to see it all in our lifetime. We'll make sure that when we travel here for a few weeks that we find a different beach with less people. These crowded pee pools are a bit much in some of these touristy hotspots abroad. Most of our viewers know we were very close to Russia when we traveled to the Republic of Georgia in the winter of 2020. We spent several months taking it all in. There is so much culture here, from the great tasting cuisine to the traditional music that they still play on the streets. We took a taxi van to Armenia, where we spent another 2 weeks enjoying the different culture and nice people, food and music.
Getting ready to travel to a bordering country in a van, local van. There's the metro stop right there that we just jumped off of, and then the vans are right here. Super easy to do.
Money.
He wants his money. Usually you pay after the trip. I don't know if you can see these, but they look like Soviet-era apartment blocks. There's no shortage of them. I don't know what's going to happen to them. Some of them are empty. It's just a sprawl of them all over the place.
But as always, it's nice to get back home in your own bed and your favorite comfort foods. We say Poka Poka Russia, at least for now. Moving on to our next country that Americans have quit moving to right now. China. Now, we don't know about you, but China has never been on our list of countries to travel to, and certainly not move to. Although many ignore the issues of traveling to a communist country, we're not blind to the risks of doing so. And interestingly, some longtime people in the retire abroad space spoke of China opening up years ago in an article interview as another option for travel. However, being the cautious people that we are, we never took the bait. And if you look hard enough, you will find some previous expats to China exposing all of the dirty laundry of China that you don't see when staying within the confines of the manicured tourist areas. These kinds of things seem to take time to unravel, even in this internet age, which is kind of suspicious when you think about it. Why would it take so long for current event news to come out about a country? Even though historically speaking, foreigners have traveled to China and even lived there as a resident foreigner, it has since seen a huge decline in traffic from all over the world. Is there any wonder? It's just that China is not a very free country. Look at what's happening over there right now. They're actually trying to revive the long-gone invisible enemy again. Smart people see through the nonsense. and why we believe we are seeing foreigner traffic to China seriously declining in 2025. Considering everything we have observed and everything we've seen post-2020, China has always been a no-go for us, but now it's a no-go for many Americans as well. Even American companies and businesses are leaving China in droves because of political instability and the impact of potential tariffs and geopolitical tensions. Sayonara, China! Moving on to our next country on the list that is losing American tourism, business, and real estate dollars is the United Kingdom. Americans haven't quit going to the UK altogether, but there has been a huge decline in traffic in 2025 for various reasons. The high cost of living in the UK, particularly London, is deterring some Americans from taking that big London Bridge leap. We talked about cost of living abroad before. Why leave a high cost of living area just to go live in another high cost of living area clear across the world? What is the advantage? Most Americans move abroad for a cheaper cost of living and for better weather. The UK is not going to be a good candidate for those reasons. Rent prices might be a little bit lower in the UK, excluding London, but it is not really enough to make noticeable difference when you look at the whole picture. And we hate to say it, don't get mad at us, but isn't the UK often rainy, cloudy, and a bit gloomy? Americans don't want to leave a sunnier, four-season climate for a colder and rainier four-season climate, do they? I mean, all the Americans we've talked with factor in weather as one of their main reasons for moving abroad, along with lower cost of living. However, retirees are not the only ones that historically have moved to the UK. People move for all kinds of reasons, including language and tax benefits. Those tax benefits were coming to a close last year, and the country saw an exodus of millionaires. This has caused the UK to soften their stand on that issue. We shall see whether those millionaires trust that government again to go back to it. It sure seems easy to control millionaires. Just show them how to not pay taxes or tax them and they will come or leave. It appears to be as simple as that. Cheers, United Kingdom! Our next country is Australia, and you might guess why. There are several different reasons, and even though Aussies speak English, the cultural differences can be challenging for some Americans. Americans have even reported the culture shock of moving to Australia was surprising since they share the same language. There's a lot more to discover about a culture besides just the language, as some folks have surely figured out. Do you realize how expensive Australia has gotten now? Financially, when all is said and done, are you really moving to a lower cost of living country? The economic difference is only slight when you look at the whole picture. With adjusting to a new culture to being away from family, is the $300 to $500 savings on the cost of living really worth it when you come right down to it? That's something you have to decide. And that's what we're seeing with other countries as well that Americans have been moving to, such as Ireland, New Zealand, and Dubai. The country better have a bigger pull than what Americans are discovering. So, cheerio, Australia! What are Americans discovering? The reality is, when more and more Americans move abroad, more and more Americans will come back home, and the courageous, honest Americans invariably tell their story about why they came back home after 1 to 5 years living in a foreign country. And it doesn't matter what country either. Just take your pick. And honestly, it's always the same. We're seeing a pattern. Couldn't adjust or integrate and felt isolated. Missed family and friends back home. Not really as cheap as they were told. And it's not what I expected, they say. Haven't you noticed? I know we have. More and more Americans are moving back home and sharing the details of their not-so-dream life abroad, and many feel duped because they believed in the hype of a better life. Not saying some folks won't find a better life, because some do, but there is much more to living in a foreign country that very few people would like to admit. Vested interests are going to pump and promote. That's just a given. You would think that more and more people would pick on these patterns of why it didn't work out. But for some reason, probably just because they want to go abroad so bad that they think these expat challenges will not affect them. Challenges abroad affect everyone on some level, depending on circumstances and situation, maybe a little bit differently for some people, but we've seen all income levels leave and move back home. Sometimes it is the wealthier folks that have the hardest time adjusting to cultural differences and standards of living. We want you to go abroad and enjoy your lifestyle doing whatever you enjoy doing, and if you love it and love the country you're in, we think that is great. So let us know what country you're in right now and what you love the most about it. Okay folks, that's it for this video. We hope you enjoyed that. Take care and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.